The road to March is intensifying as you can start to sense the madness in the air in South Orange. The point, it's a great time to be a Seton Hall basketball fan, as both the men's and women's teams are right in the thick of things in the NCAA tournament conversation. Now the question is, can they finish the job? We're here to answer it right now on Hall Talk.
This team needs to show me something for me to believe that they're going to make a run in the tournament.
I think they can have a chance of going over 35 wins without a problem.
Just stepping up from the 4 points to the 17. She's just dropping threes like there's no tomorrow.
But chemistry is an underrated key in college basketball.
That was by far the best game I've seen them play.
This is Hall Talk, and that's how the chalk talks.
Welcome on into our Pirate TV studios, everybody. I'm John Fanta, and we've got a great panel on the show tonight, as it is Ryan Flannery and John Pirsos who are with me as we break down Seton Hall basketball, and we start with the men's team. The Pirates coming up just short, 81-75 to the Butler Bulldogs Thursday night. Isaiah Whitehead goes off for 26 and 10, a 23-point first half, but they just can't get it done. They fall to 17 and 7. Ryan, your rapid reaction.
Well, Butler's a tough team to beat for Seton Hall. We've only beaten them once in the Big East tournament 3 years ago. So not surprised that we lost this game, to be honest, because Butler has always been a thorn in Seton Hall's side. But if you're Seton Hall, you have to help out Isaiah Whitehead a little bit more in the second half.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that, Ryan. He didn't really get too much help around him other than Desi Rodriguez, who scored 18 points. But the 23 first half points from Isaiah Whitehead, I almost see that as fool's gold, because the entire team was kind of looking to him to finish the job in the second half, but which never really happened, as he only had 3 second half points.
But 10 assists at the same time. I mean, in the second half, his involvement was there.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's getting better as a point guard. I mean, and it wasn't just that dazzling assist he had in the second half where he went around his back and got it to Derrick Gordon. I just think he looks a lot more comfortable in the position. He's finding guys. His court vision is a lot better. And he's not forcing the issue as much. He's not turning the ball over as much. So, Isaiah, I'd tell you what, he's having an absolutely fantastic year.
Yeah, and when you talk about the turnovers, Ryan, Seton Hall only had 4 or 5 turnovers in the second half, and they had like 4 of those in the first 4 minutes of the second half. So turnovers didn't lose them the game at all. The ball control was there, but it was the lack of defense. I mean, Butler's a very good offensive team. They score 81 points per game, and they hit their mark last night. And the Pirates just didn't come up strong enough defensively.
Do you get concerned after a loss like this?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, again, Butler's always been a thorn in our side, like I said before, but for Seton Hall, I just think it's 3 more wins. You get 3 more wins, you get to 10 Big East wins, which seems to be the magic number for a March Madness type of team. So they can certainly do it. They have some tough games against Xavier, against Providence again, but other than that, they should beat St. John's. Georgetown's going to be a tough one in D.C., but I don't know. I don't think it's time to panic yet. I still think this team can play in March for sure.
Well, every game becomes more and more important.
Yeah.
John, a pivotal game earlier this year was the road game at Creighton. They came back and won that one. A road game at Georgetown, another chance for them.
Yeah, and Georgetown, huge game coming up because the Pirates know that they can beat them because they just beat them on their home floor and beat them pretty decisively. So the Pirates, when you mentioned the turning point at Creighton, I look at the turning point, the home game against Creighton where they lost, because they had that team meeting that Derrick Gordon called afterwards, and they just took off from there, and now they're just coming off a 4-game winning streak.
Well, how do they turn from this loss? We got reaction from our own Clayton Collier, who talked to Isaiah Whitehead and Derrick Gordon.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Derrick Gordon. And Derrick, you guys have been playing defense so well, then you let up Creighton shooting 67% in the second half. What happened?
Just a lot of mental lapses. I mean, we weren't communicating out there as a group, and they got a lot of backdoor cuts, and we weren't boxing out, rebounding. It's just a number of things that the reason why we lost this game. But I take it personal because just me, I'm the leader of this team. Like I'm supposed to make sure that we're ready to go and everything like that. And it's definitely a loss that I take. It was definitely my fault because I didn't bring it personally tonight. If I would have bought it like I bought it the past few games, we wouldn't have lost this game. But you know what? Things happen for a reason. And it's just going to make us even tighter as a group for the last home stretch of games that we have left. So this is not a game that we're definitely going to look at it. But, I mean, this is not going to affect us as a whole. We're still in a good situation, and we still can make things happen.
Seton Hall hasn't beaten Butler in the new Big East during the regular season. What is so difficult about playing against the Bulldogs?
They're very disciplined. You can tell that their coach really works with them a lot about just really running their offense and really getting shots that they want and not what the defense really force them into. I mean, Dunham, Roosevelt Jones, those guys are really kind of veterans of the league, and they really know when to shoot and time management. I mean, they're just great players.
And for you today, I mean, 26 points, 10 assists, your first career double-double. What was just clicking for you in this game?
I mean, I just tried to really give my team a spark. Like I said, a lot of guys really, I wouldn't say shooting poorly, but they just weren't hitting open shots. So I really just tried to get them going by hitting some shots and then getting some blocks, getting some deflections. I mean, I just tried to really get them going.
You have a week off before you head out to Georgetown, a team you held just a couple days ago to 61 points. What's the emphasis for this next week?
Defense. We really got to just pick it up on defense. We really got to really get after it in practice and really get after each other in the defensive end so we get back to that winning basketball that we did, and that consists of defense. As I said, it's still a lot of basketball to play. Like we was on a really good streak, and this is one loss. So we're not gonna let this one loss just dictate, okay, the season is over. I mean, I've been in this situation from before as a fifth-year senior, so I know we still have a very good, and we're still in a very good position to get to the NCAA tournament. We just at a very good stretch right now where we can go on another winning streak, and I think this game is a lot to think about, and then a way that we can bounce back on.
The big ticket this weekend is at historic Walsh Gymnasium as Seton Hall women's basketball is locked in a tight Big East race. The Pirates, they've gone 5-5 in their last 10 games and now standing at 17-6 overall. Well, they need to try to right the ship. The good news is they have the chance to do it at home. Seton Hall hosts Georgetown tonight, tip-off at 7 o'clock. And Ryan, they took down the Hoyas once. What needs to go right for the Pirates?
Well, I think they just need to get back to their winning ways, obviously, but that starts with Tabitha Richardson-Smith obviously being herself, scoring the way she does, but it has to come from Shakina Richardson as well. Look, this team, they don't have a ton of depth, and what I mean by that is, they don't have the depth last year where you can bring, a Chizoba Agadiwa off the bench when she isn't starting, or, you can bring in, a Deja Simmons. This team is more reliant on their big players in terms of Tabitha Richardson-Smith and Shakina Richardson. So I think that they just need to, focus on moving the ball a lot more and getting out in transition too, because they're a good team when they're out on the run.
Yeah, for me, obviously Tabitha Richardson-Smith has to be that 28-game player for them to have a chance because she's the leader of the team. The team revolves around her production offensively. But I looked at Tiffany Jones. She's hit a rough stretch.
Yeah. No, that's the key. And that's the key. She
has to score. She has to score more.
She has not been good. She only had 2 points against St. John's, and she was stretching the floor so well earlier this season. You say Tabitha Richardson-Smith scoring 20 points. It's how she gets there, though. I mean, if she scores 20 on 28 shots, you're not going to win many games. Well, they're not moving the ball well.
Well, I think, and especially in basketball, when one player, we see it all the time in the NBA, when one player is the focus, a lot of the times the teams will just focus on them. And look, Tab knows that she's going to be the main threat game in and game out, so teams are just going after her. You know what I mean? And now it's time for Tiffany Jones, and Shakina Richardson, other players like Alicia Powell to step up and just be more assertive when it comes to scoring.
Yeah, Ryan, you bring up Alicia Powell's name. She's a player that can go off for 25 points. She's done it a few times this year. And if she can not score 25, but if she can score 10 to 15 points to help out Tabitha Richardson-Smith, and if Tiffany Jones can step up, it's just going to get everyone involved, and that's really what's going to do it for the Pirates. It can't be one person. They have to get everyone involved offensively.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They've had some tough injuries as well, with the injuries to Tara Inman, to Kat Egan. Those are players that have played a lot of minutes for the Hall, and to have those injuries, that's big. Taylor Burns been hurt as well, and Shakina Richardson right now is trying to overcome a couple of different banged-up injuries. So they're going through a very difficult time, yet isn't it amazing that, once again, 3 years ago, this team had 11 wins in one season. Now, we're talking about a 17-6 team, like they're on the brink of their season going to shreds. A reminder to everybody that they still are very much an NCAA tournament team. It's a nice conversation to have in that regard.
Problem.
Yeah, it's a good problem, but obviously, that's the expectation to go to the NCAA tournament now, which was, a complete fairy tale a couple years ago. But look, it's still plenty of games to play. Like we said with the men, it's not time to panic, but if this team doesn't start playing better defense and moving the ball, it might be a problem.
The Hoyas are the best rebounding team in the Big East. How does Seton Hall go about containing them? Lubirdia Gordon told us in practice.
Because we know where we want to be at the end of it. We know where we're trying to get to. We're trying to be Big East champs at the end of it. We know we can't lose. I just try to keep going. When everybody was, kind of getting down on themselves, I just try to keep picking everybody up. I just try to, I know my role on this team, so I just try to keep everybody involved, keep everybody's heads up, just do my role. Yeah, we definitely have to pick it back up. We're excited to play. We're ready to play. Playing Georgetown and playing Villanova this weekend is just like, any other game. We're just coming out heads high, just expect to win.
It's that time of the show, the last thing you'll hear from us. And we start with John Pirsos.
Well, John, the last thing I want to say pertains to women's basketball. They have six games left this year. 4 of them are at home, and in the last 2 seasons, they've only lost 3 games in Walsh Gymnasium. So they're still in good shape to win some games here down the stretch and put themselves in good position for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and I'm going to switch to the men's side. I think, again, this team, they struggled last year with bouncing back from bad losses. And not to say that Butler was a bad loss, but now is the time where they need the 3 wins to get to 10 Big East wins, which is the magic number. So now it's time to, see what you have when gut check time comes. They have a lot of tough games coming up, on the road versus Georgetown. So, again, it's gut check time, and let's see if they learned anything from last year. I mean, they've certainly been playing like it. They've done it earlier on in the season when they had that bad loss to Creighton, came back and had a great win against Providence. So, but, that was in the beginning of Big East play, and now it's towards the end, and these wins, they all matter.
You know what? We've said those key words throughout this season, maturity and consistency. This men's team, another year older, this sophomore class, could they be able to piece things together? We knew that there'd be lows. It's how you handle those lows, and they've done a good job of handling them. Why, primarily? In college basketball, if you don't have guard play, consistent guard play, you're not going to do well. Last season, we saw consistent guard play in the start of Big East play. The Pirates compiled 2 top 15 wins and were one of the stories of college basketball. This year, maybe not necessarily in one outburst, but over a span of time now, Isaiah Whitehead has gone into not star mode, no, he is in superstar mode in the Big East. Pirate fans, remember this time. Remember this season right now and get to games because there's not many left, and we are watching potentially some major history, something that hasn't happened in a decade. It's because Isaiah Whitehead, he made that decision to come to the Hall. Now he's lifting the Pirates to their first dance potentially in 10 years. That is special to say. He's John Pirsos. He's Ryan Flannery. We hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day weekend. This has been Hall Talk.